An audience member of mine, PG, said, "Hey, VG, check this out. I guess renting is bad when Xbox does it, but when PlayStation does it, it's basically a good thing, or I guess it's okay." I clicked the post, and I see that Zubitech has posted this stuff where he's talking about a rental service that PlayStation has opened in the UK for PlayStation 5s. They basically are providing their consoles in front of people for a low amount of money up front. So you can get the PS5 digital edition for £10.99. You can get the PS5 with a disc edition for £11.99. You can get the PlayStation 5 Pro for $18. $18. It's pound. £18.95. The PSVR for $18.49, and the PS5 Portal for $6.49 per month. What's funny is in the comment section, there are people who say this is good, but then there are also some folk who are roasting people saying, oh, so it's okay to dogpile on Game Pass because these people call it a game rental service. But then when it comes to renting your console, that's a good thing. And I see a little bit of that taste of hypocrisy here. There is a point to that, right? There's some accounts here that I see, like this one here, that's constantly dogpiling on everything Xbox does, and downplaying it, only for them to come out here now and basically agree that a rental service is fine. Now, I don't know if they've ever criticized Game Pass or whatever it is, but I would regularly see comments, and like I said, it's the same 4% of people that are on Twitter, by the way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the gamers on Twitter are usually the same, people. They're usually the same agents and stuff. So there's not really much consequential nonsense that goes on here. This is just chatter and, all kinds of weird nonsense. But instead of sitting here and reading the comments, I decided, let's go check this stuff out. Let's see what the, fine print is. So apparently in the UK, you can actually go ahead and lease because PlayStation is partnering with Raylo. Apparently this is a company that is one of the more trusted leasing companies in the United Kingdom. Here it is. PlayStation is partnered with Raylo, the UK's favorite tech leasing service, trusted by over 100,000 UK customers and backed by a 4.5 Trustpilot rating. Now, I know some of you may have some questions in terms of, okay, what are the details? We're going to go in there. Let's explore some leasing options. And I did this, and I looked at the different amounts of money, and I was like, man, they're even leasing controllers. Bro, what is going on here? I don't know, man. But again, let's take a look. So click any of the PS5 consoles. I'll just click the Pro. And they talk about game now, pay monthly, pay nothing today. You can return after 14 days. No long-term commitments, stay upgrade ready with your flexible, cancel anytime lease, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, okay, I get it. But what's the catch? So I got to scroll all the way down here to see end of lease. Check it out. At the end of your chosen term, you are in control. Okay. It said upgrade, keep paying monthly, or leave flex by returning your device. So you don't get to own this device. You only lease it for the time being. Now, this is very interesting because these fees, yes, they are small, but you end up not owning anything at the end of the day. For those PlayStation players who swore that Game Pass was trying to take away ownership because that's what Xbox wanted to do, I hope you know that that's been a lie, because with Game Pass, you also have access to buying the game's digital license as well. It doesn't stop you from buying it. Some people actually presented, Game Pass from the perspective of, all they want you to do is just rent these games. You never own anything anyways. There is a buy button there or a purchase button there where sometimes if it's an Xbox game, you actually get two versions of the game from Xbox. So y'all have clearly been gaslighting yourselves because you weren't fooling anyone. People are smart enough to figure this stuff out. Now, this business proposition, am I going to dog on it? No, not interested, because I can tell you that it's inferior to what Xbox had offered before. Xbox offered a service that they called Xbox All Access. This is when they were trying to push their consoles at the time that they first launched. What you did then was you picked your console of choice, they financed it through a finance company, and you made monthly payments for 2 years. In those 2 years, they spread out your payments in a way where you did not pay any interest if you completed your payments within those 2 years, 24 months. I thought it was a solid deal because at the time, yes, they were. Now, the reason it's a little high in terms of your monthly payments because they were bundling it with Game Pass Ultimate. If you notice, It had 24 months of Game Pass Ultimate attached to it too. So you basically got this console you were paying monthly, and at the end of your monthly payments, you kept your console and owned it. You could pay early too. How do I know? That's how I got my Series X. I couldn't find a Series X at any, in regular retail stores. And so I was like, this is insane. So I went through this stuff and I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to do this because I don't pay any interest. So I'm paying for the price of this and the price of Game Pass. It was slightly expensive though, I got to say, because at the time, consoles were very hard to kind of come by. But I went ahead and just basically, ensured that it was paid off early. And it was very interesting to see that they had something like this. I thought this is very interesting. So yeah, I see PlayStation's own, approach to trying to do this. But it's very interesting though that at the end of this particular term, you don't own the device. You don't own the unit. Because this is a leasing service. And what, All Access was doing was this is a purchasing service that gave you a financing option with zero interest. So if anybody is talking about ownership, I guess they can probably suspend that notion that somewhere, somehow, that Game Pass is trying to take away ownership or Xbox is trying to take ownership. It's okay. Everyone is trying to do business and everyone is trying to pretty much go ahead and find ways to get people into their ecosystem. There's no need for the gaslighting and then you ending up looking like a freaking hypocrite for thinking that this is, it's such a good deal. When Game Pass Ultimate, which gives you a library of games with a cheaper console that by the time you're done paying, $18.99 or $19 or $11.99 or whatever it is you're paying a month, you could have owned a console and then had access to Game Pass for a very minimal subscription. So once again, I thought this was such a funny proposition when I first saw it and I started reading the comments. This is the third take I had to do to make this video with a straight face. And, again, like I said, I want to be fair, but it's very interesting to just see all of this just coming full circle with PlayStation wanting to move more hardware and taking this approach. What's going on in the hardware market that's putting them in a position where their hardware is not compelling enough for people to go ahead and spend £500, $4.99 or £7.99 or whatever it is it costs in the UK to buy their consoles? Could it be that the economy is just really rough and so they're finding these lease methodologies to get people's hands on their consoles so that they can maybe say, you know what, I'm just going to go buy myself a PlayStation 5. I'm going to save the money and do that. Maybe. But man, I am no fan of leasing agreements of such, especially with depreciable items. If you understand what I mean. Or items that can basically break, and then you give all this money to this console manufacturer, to this leasing service, and then they turn around and then they basically sell these units as refurbished units later down the road. So basically trying to make top dollar on the items. I don't know, man. I'll leave you to judge. My opinion is made. It's in my mind. I may have even, implied it here in this video. But it's definitely not something that I think anyone should be excited about, or anyone who has basically criticized Game Pass should ever open their mouth to talk on. And for those of you who may be watching or listening across the board, listen and see if your favorite, PlayStation talking heads will go ahead and talk about this as either being a good thing or bad thing. That's how you can basically weigh and see exactly if they're actually going to be objective or not. I'll leave it up to y'all. Talk to me in the comment section. Shout out to BG for actually going ahead to, tag me in this particular tweet. I thought it was very interesting. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace out.